Hello, my name is Erica Guzman, and this is my final persuasive speech. For many people, there's a routine early in the mornings each day, from waking up to showering to even a workout routine, and what doesn't complete the morning without a cup of coffee? It is estimated that about 54% of Americans over the age of 18 will consume coffee daily. To put it into perspective, we drink about 3 cups of coffee a day, or as a whole, an entire year, we'll drink 600 billion cups of coffee, and we'll even spend over $40 billion in coffee alone. Now, that's a lot of coffee. However, lately, coffee has become more and more expensive, and the demand is starting to become higher and higher. And not only coffee impacts the lives of people each day in America, but it even affects the people around the world too. Those are the people who grow it, wash it, and sell it to your local coffee shops. So, however, it's been extremely difficult to grow now. Other areas are being affected by the weather and the climate change, while others simply cannot grow enough because of the damage to that. As little as 1 degree Celsius can make a huge difference to these crops. So what can we do? If you're an avid coffee drinker like me, or if you know somebody who loves coffee, there's a solution that can help better everybody's lives. On September of 2015, Starbucks introduced what they called a one bag, one tree commitment. And it's partnered up with Conservation International, an organization that is dedicated to protecting and nurturing nature, and that we rely on the resources such as food, water, fresh air, and a stable climate. And here's how it works. You simply go into Starbucks and purchase 1 bag of coffee, and they donate 1 tree to any of its resources or farmers. And even simpler, go to conservationinternational.org, and whatever you donate to them, they'll match 100% of your donation. And what they use, and why should you donate to Conservation International and Starbucks? It seems like a lot for 2, correct? Well, for starters, Starbucks has actually been ethically sourcing their beans with Conservation International for 15 years. So it's not only resourcing the beans, but it's improving their resources' lives. So even though there's tons of Starbucks all over the US, they are the only large chain coffee shop to achieve 99% of ethical sourcing for coffee. And in the near future, hopefully 100%. What it means is that they buy beans from farmers and growers who are treated well at their jobs. So you don't have to worry about factories or slaves or such like that. And also, because of this, they have created what is called a cafe practice program, or a coffee and farmer equity practice program, which is designed to improve coffee producing, improve the lives of their community, and even protect the natural ecosystems that the locals depend on where the farmers are. They give farmers these tools and guidance to help and have their farms thrive with healthy coffee beans and a stable income. And also, the resources come from more than one area, but it comes from 4 continents: North America, South America, Africa, and Asia. And it's globally affecting over 51 countries and thousands of farms. The Cafe Practice Program not only just adds that, but it includes climate change and action. They're constantly tracking it and constantly monitoring it, trying to find ways to lessen the chance of climate change that affects the crops while strengthening resilience to climate impacts. Speaking of climate change, that's another reason why those 2 are teaming up together. They want to monitor change and prevent the world from worsening. Like I mentioned earlier, climate change is a huge factor to crops, especially to crops that are very sensitive to even 1 degree Celsius. Coffee is grown usually in the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn, so it's very warm, and that's where coffee thrives. However, because of the world slightly shifting geographically, it can lead to deforestation or ridding away of forests. And there's only 31% of forests on the world's surface alone. Because of that, it will wipe out tons of animals, and it will also wipe tons of plants to extinction just for these coffee plants. The deforestation issue is going to lead to a lot of new diseases and pests to coffee trees. So not only that it will become harder to grow, but they'll become more expensive. It will become more profitable to farms, and after that, they really wouldn't want to if it's going to be that expensive. If coffee is that difficult to grow and harvest, think of how expensive the coffee will be. 2 degrees Celsius is enough to cause over $500 million worth of damage each year. In fact, because of that, prices of coffee will double price per pound. And that doesn't include the inflation. So your cup of coffee could only and truly be a luxury. Last thing that helps though is that both Starbucks and Conservation International wants to plant more trees. That's the simplest thing they can do to help the planet and keep the coffee business alive. Just like earlier, this helps families, farmers, and the earth combined. So how much exactly is Starbucks impacting on its resources? As of March 10th of this year, Starbucks has actually donated over 10 million trees to its farmers. That means it's creating over 800 more jobs as a whole. And with over a million of rust-resistant seedlings to prevent any more diseases or pests, it almost seems promising that we'll see our coffee 50 years down the road. Even with climate change and unpredictable outcomes, Starbucks and Conservation International will have the technology to make sure that even with time, these plants and these people will thrive. What they do is to send a team of people to study and help the environment. By then, Starbucks is hoping that they'll be 100% ethically sourced and inspiring others to do the same and change the planet as a whole. So, Howard Schultz made a mission statement in his company to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. And he took it to a whole different level, including the world. With people connecting worldwide with just a single cup of coffee, and with Conservation International teaming up with Starbucks to help the planet and achieve its goals, it all seems like the future is a little brighter. So I urge you to donate to Conservation International or even buy a pound of coffee at Starbucks. Your donation will make a difference in the climate and people, and I'm sure you'll see your tree produce coffee in the next 50 years. Thank you.